Everybody, welcome back to the Driven Mindset, and today we're going to be talking about when is the best time to buy a car. A new car, a used car, doesn't matter, but specifically a new car. And the time is December, man. December is the best time to do it. I'm also thinking about buying a 2025 Corvette C8 Z06, man. I don't want the base model. I want the Z06. You know, it will hold it marking better, and I do think in due time the Z06 will somehow able to have a less depreciation hit than the base model for sure. But anyway, right, why am I waiting till December to buy the car? Easy. Dealership got to get rid of them. All right, the 2026 already on the lot, guys, and they have just a very small amount of 2025 that they don't want to go into 2026 with. So right now, right, I'm looking at the market and I seen, 2025 Corvette. I'm just using it as an example. Corvette midsummer Z06 was 134. Now those same 134 is going for 115. Think about that, $15,000, $16,000 off just because you waited 5 months. Now, don't get me wrong. To some people, that might be a lot of money, but to me, it is. $15,000 for 5 months. Come on now, divide that. That's $3,000 a month. Think about it, right? If you would have bought a Corvette midsummer for 134, and I could buy the same one for 115, that means you just lost damn near what? $14,000. Well, a little bit more than $14,000, really. More like $19,000. You lost like $19,000 in 5 months. If you divide that, your car was losing $4,000 a month in depreciation. Now, if someone like me decided to go buy that Corvette at 115, I think I hit the bottom of the market for that car. And of course, if I wait a little bit more and 2026 come around, then it might be even cheaper. Now, earlier this year, I was looking at Corvette C8 Z06, and the 2024 model in January of this year was going for 104. That's crazy, 104. I guess the dealership was like, listen, let's just get rid of it. That way, we don't lose money. We just don't make that much money, but we ain't gonna lose. And whenever you're a business and you could break even or just make a little bit of profit versus a whole lot of profit, at the end of the day, that's good. So I'm thinking either I buy the new Corvette this month, or I wait till January, February, when the last of the last ones gotta go. Because most dealership don't get rid of all the inventory the moment the next year models come up. No, everything going to discount, trying to sell it, trying to get rid of it. Okay, think about it. Nobody want to hold on a car that's a year old. All right, so I'm thinking of it. What you guys think in the comments? Should I go buy the new Corvette Z06? I think that'd be great for channel. I mean, great for my second channel, of course. This channel, not really. I don't think a car like that would help this channel at all, but it will definitely help my second channel that I'm going to be posting more videos starting this week. I'm going to post more videos again. I used to post videos, but I kind of stopped to focus on this one, and now I'm about to post videos on both. So that one's going to be more for entertaining. This is more like an informational channel. So I think December is a time to go buy a car. If you're going to finance a car, guys, I think this is the best time. Banks want to work with you. Dealership want to work with you, especially dealership. They want to work with you. Okay, they don't want them 2025 not to sell. So if you want to finance a car, this is probably the best time to go finance. You probably could get some good deals. You could probably able to talk down those 84 months interest, because normally you will pay more interest on those longer terms. But hey, if you want this car to be sold today, let's talk it down. Let's knock off a point. If it's 7%, let's make it 6%. You could talk it down, especially when the dealership have their own finances. A lot of these big dealerships have their own finances, then they sell it off to a third party. So you could talk them down. This is the time to talk them down into it, guys. Like, don't sit there and accept anything, any salesman, any dealership want to sell you, okay? You have the right to negotiate those prices, those financial deals, and it is what it is. And don't be scared to walk away. I think once they know that you're not scared to walk away, they're more likely to work with you, especially if your credit is pretty decent. You got in the 700s, you should be able to, negotiate a finance deal for a car. If you're gonna buy a used car, it could probably be the best time too. A lot of dealership trying to make the last second profit. They're trying to home in on the the holiday shopping, the holiday spending. I just saw it was $11 billion was spent on Black Friday. $11 billion. So these dealerships want hands on that. They want to be in. So hey, if they can mark down their cars a little bit, or they could work with you on finance, just to sell the car, then that'd be beautiful for them. They're not making maximum profit, but they are making a profit. So I would definitely try to buy a car this month. If you guys are gonna look into buying a car this month, finance a car, even leasing a car, this is probably the best time to lease a car. They probably, have much lower down payment requirement, because to lease a car you have to put a down payment and then the monthly lease. Right now, some of them have zero down payment. That'd be great. Zero down payment and just pay the monthly lease. You just save yourself $3,000, $4,000, depends on the car that you're trying to lease. So that's money saved, is money earned, and guess what? You could go invest that money into the stock market. That's one thing I like to do sometimes. I like to see how much money I could save. Then I take that money and I invest it into a stock and see what it is in a year. And, next thing you know, I'm up 20, 30%, depends on the stock, maybe 13%, maybe 10%, but still, I made some money. So the money saved, now making me more money. But that's a whole different topic. But what I'm trying to get back to is, this is probably the best time to go finance. Probably the best time to go buy a car. Probably the best time to go lease. But let me know what you guys think about that. Anybody's in the comments about to buy any new car this year, or thinking about buying a new car, and this is probably the time to buy it. I'm not telling you to go spend money. I really want you to save money. But if you are planning on buying a car, this is probably the best time to save money. This is probably the best time that dealership is willing to work with you. And that's what it's all about, having dealership working with you. Because let's be honest, every time we walk into a dealership, I feel like I'm getting ripped off. I have never walked into a dealership that I felt like, oh man, I'm about to do some good business. There's always bad business in dealerships. So why not take advantage when they're the most desperate, which always going to be December. So go look on whatever type of car you want to buy and look at the difference. I guarantee you the price dropped since summertime. So go look at it, man. Go look at these dealership parking lot, do some research. I guarantee you, every dealership don't sell their cars the same price. I promise you. All dealerships do not sell the cars the same price. So go online, start shop online, look at these cars dealership, look at the price that they're selling their cars. And most of the time they're willing to work with you, especially in December, because they got to make that sale. So why not take advantage of it? This is the time to tell them, listen, man, that's 7%. I'll like it, 6.5. I'll like it 6%. That's a lot. And if you guys want to make this sale, talk to your, financial manager, and we can work out something. And most of the time, guys, they will lower the interest rate to sell the car because they're going to make money. They're already charging you a premium on the interest rate. So taking off a point ain't nothing, really. I promise you it ain't nothing, especially when you go to these German, European used parking lot. All right. They're already making a lot of money on the upfront of selling those cars 3-4x versus what they got it on trading. So if they got to take a little hit on the interest part to sell the car, they're going to. They don't want you to walk out that door without that keys in your hand at the end of the day. And if you could afford a car and the only thing stopping you is you just asking for a better interest rate, they're going to do that. But remember, you could also shop for better interest rate. You could go to, credit union, normally have better interest rate than bigger banks. And you could go to the credit union option, or, you could go to the withdraw from your 401k option. A lot of people don't know that you could withdraw from your 401k. You could borrow against yourself. If you have a decent job right now that offer a 401k, especially 401k match, you could always borrow against yourself, okay? And normally borrowing against yourself is cheaper. It's always going to be cheaper. One of my friends just bought himself a nice car, and guess what he did? He borrowed against himself. He took out $30,000 to buy his car cash, and guess how much his interest rate that his 401k was charging him? 3.7%. Right? And then what they do to take it back out your paycheck every 2 weeks or every month or however you set it up. So now you borrow against yourself for 3%. That's better than 8, 9%, 13% of these car loans. The whole point is not to be upside down as much as possible. You already buying a depreciating item, which is what a vehicle is. Okay, it's very rare you buy a car and it goes up in value. Some of them could stay within value, but most of them go down. So guess what? If you could borrow against yourself for 3%, 3.5% versus a bank 6, 7% for the same car, why not? But like I said, this is the best time to buy a car. If you feel I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I like to have discussion in the comment. I like to go back and forth. So let me know what you guys think about it. Until then, see you guys in the next video. Y'all have the driven mindset. Be peace.